Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a live after so long on YouTube and on LinkedIn. This is the first time I'm going live. So to everyone who's watching, a big thank you for coming here and I promise you this session is going to be full of valuable tips for you. Today, I want to talk to Marcus Chan. He's a finance writer. He started writing on Medium and now has a successful freelancing business. So, we are going to talk about what you need to do to attract global clients and high paying gigs for yourself, and also how to build a strong personal brand for yourself. So, without further delay, let's invite Marcus to the stream. Hello,
Hi.
Marcus. Thank you so much for being here.
All right. Thank you so much for inviting me. And honestly, I'm really honored that you asked me to do this. Thank you.
Really happy to talk to you. So, could you just tell about yourself in a few lines? I know that's the most dreaded question. Everyone hates that question. But for everyone who's watching, can you just please introduce yourself?
Right. Hey guys. I'm Marcus. I write finance articles. I am quite into the whole crypto world. Um, I find it really interesting. So most of my clients and most of the things I write about are finance related, ranging from um, personal finance, the really basic things, to the a little more advanced things. So, yep, that's who I am.
That's super cool. So, like you're only 23 years old and you also have a full-time job in cryptocurrency. So, how did that happen? Like, how can you tell us the story of how did you end up working in crypto and how is the job like so far?
Um, well, I don't want to give away. I don't want to speak too much about the crypto space because I don't want to get in trouble with my communication comms manager. So how it started is I've actually been trading um, in the stock markets and investing for about 4 years now. So that's where my background is. I'm a retail trader, uh, and everything that I've learned, I'm actually self-taught. So I got a little bit of knowledge there, and then I started writing after that. It's like I started writing about 2 years ago, and then of course the first thing I want to write about is finance because that's the thing that I know about, right? And some people started reading my stuff, and I started building this sort of brand around myself, which I didn't even know that time that I was building a brand. So it was, everything was just a blur, uh, and then this crypto space sort of blew up, and uh, everything just sort of, I saw this company, and I applied, and then they took me in, and here I am.
That's really amazing. Like, how writing online helped you find a job. That's really incredible. I want to talk about your freelance writing journey because I see all these tweets that you post and you've been doing a really great job. So, like, for everyone who's watching, can you share a bit about how you got your first freelance client, a freelance writing client, and how has it been going so far?
Okay, the first one was actually a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So this friend of mine, he was running his own blog. So he does traveling. He travels with his I think fiance now. So I was writing travel blogs for him, and it was actually a really small amount of money, but I agreed to do it anyway because it was something, right? And I think it was like $6 or $7 or $8 per article, but it was a good exposure for me. And then I think from there honestly, it's a grind. It's just one step above another, because you sort of have to build a portfolio before you can take the other step. uh it wasn't My journey wasn't like, um so now I'm actually charging about about 120 to $150 per article. uh, and it
That's like,
wasn't.
more than 20 times, almost 30 times.
Yes, yes, and the crazy thing is, uh, it's nowhere close to the ceiling, and there's a lot of even
Of
higher
course,
paying
yeah.
clients out
Mhm.
there. And my journey wasn't, it wasn't a jump from this to like $150 article. It was like jump to like $20 an article, and then $30,
Mhm.
and then $50, and then $100 an article. So in the middle of it, I did get some shitty clients, but they're gone now, so it's okay. Um, but that's just the way it is. You just have to climb one step after another. That's all.
That's so true. Like that's the same with me. Like when I first got a client, the pay was really less, and now it has increased. So the more when you write more, you become confident of how much value you
Yeah,
can deliver, and that way you can price yourself more. Definitely.
yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted to also share a funny story. Like a lot of my friends who are currently staying in Europe or in US, they keep asking me like, you should move here because you have US clients. You should come and live in the US. But I always keep telling them, that the biggest superpower I have is that I live in India and I earn in dollars, which is amazing.
yes,
I won't have this advantage if I actually move to the US. And I think you can also relate to that, right, Marcus,
yeah,
because you also live in Malaysia. This is a big,
yeah,
really nice opportunity for people from this part of the world to work with global clients.
yeah. It's actually also been one of the bigger advantages I have. So even though I live in Malaysia, I sort of have this thinking that I can undercut my competitors a bit by offering just a bit of discount compared to
Yeah.
let's say US writers. So that's a bit of advantage there.
Definitely, that's definitely there. Uh, so you recently talked about outsourcing. I remember reading a tweet where you said that you have outsourced some work and you pay your writer, your part-time writer, much more than how much you charged when you first
Yeah,
started writing.
of
So I
course.
wanted to talk about outsourcing because as a freelance writer, this is a very common question many people have. Like, when exactly do you start outsourcing, and what if they run into some trouble? So before we go into all of that, can you share like why? What was the point in your journey that made you decide that no, I need someone, I need to outsource my work? How did you come to that realization that you need an intern or a writer working with you?
I've always I've always wanted to outsource actually, because as a writer we're not just writers. We it's basically a one man or one woman business. You do marketing, you do accounting, you do invoicing, like literally everything you're doing it yourself.
Yes,
And that's
everything.
actually crazy. Like I'm not a designer, but uh I had to go through the pain of designing my landing pages on ConvertKit, on wherever else, which is not ideal. I wanted to outsource it, but I did not have the capital back then. So I did them all myself, and uh, it did not look as pretty as what I wanted to. So I think that's where the idea came from. And then I started working full time, of course. So from the moment I wake up until like evening, my time goes to the company. And at night, if I'm still writing, uh, it's actually a lot of things to do. So I kind of got fed up with that, and uh, and I thought, bringing on a new writer is is also a way to help me grow, because I can coach someone and uh, and teach them the way to go about this. So yeah, that's what I think.
Right. So, when the work gets too overwhelming, you decided you needed someone to help you out, right?
Yes, definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
and also
That is,
because
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's like I was saying that the same thing happened with me. The moment I felt like there's just way too much work and I could use someone's help, that's when I thought I need to outsource at least a part of my work.
And
So
also, well,
yeah.
um, it's not just like when the work gets too heavy, like I'm also thinking like if I can outsource this, I can potentially spend my time doing some other things that are potentially gonna gonna scale my business, quote unquote. So it's for me, it's always about taking the other step forward, the next step up. So this is just one of the steps.
Of course, yeah. Like, when you're outsourcing, it's like you're selling your name, your brand, not
Yeah.
just your time or your effort, right? So that's why so many freelance writers look to outsource. So, like right now you have one writer working with you. So where do you see this journey taking you? Do you plan to have your own writing business or writing company, or you haven't thought much about it? Where do you see yourself like in the next 1 year or 2 years?
I actually I actually dreamt about that while I was sleeping, because it, 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 it would be very cool to have a writing business because
Mm-hmm.
writing is so rare and the demand is so high, not just for the business but also for just to coach people, just to get people to love writing itself, not for the money, for
Yeah.
whatever benefits it comes with. So I don't know when or uh, when it will gonna when it's gonna happen, but hopefully I will get the second one in sometime soon. And also, it's very hard to find good writers, so that was part of
Yeah, that
the
is
problem.
another, like, that's one of my next questions. Like, where do you find good writers who you can outsource work to? Because a lot of my freelance writer friends have asked me, like, where do you find people who you can outsource work to, so you can upscale your writing business?
Mm. So this writer that I hired, she's actually a friend as well. So we went to the same uni. I got to know her there, and she was interested in the content writing part. So she studied marketing, got interested in this. So she reached out to me, um, and I basically mentioned this to her. I said, it, I can coach her, give her some guidance if she could write for me. So that's how it worked out for me.
Right. Oh, by the way, I see a lot of new users join in. So, whoever is watching, this is Marcus, and we are talking about how you can upscale your freelancing business. And currently, we're talking about outsourcing your work to someone. So, the writer, like you yourself as a writer, can use your time to find better opportunities and more gigs. So, coming to outsourcing, Marcus, what are the, like, you must have had some questions before outsourcing, right? You might have had some worries. So do you think there are some cons to outsourcing work, or what are the biggest fears that you had when you first started, and like how have they evolved so far?
Uh, my biggest fear is worrying if they will meet the deadline. Because if they don't meet the deadline, then I can't deliver the work, and that means
Yeah.
I will have to do it myself. So that is a fear, but I've since learned to trust them, and uh, so far so good. So yeah, that's about it. As far as
Right.
cons
And
go, as far as
yeah,
cons go, I there's no cons.
there's of course no cons. Like there is so much to gain from outsourcing.
Yes.
So how do you go about the legal part of it? Like, did you have a lawyer look at the contract, or was it like because it was a friend, so mostly word of mouth?
Uh, so the way I even when I approach clients, I deal with my clients. I always have a contract, whether they prepare it or I prepare it. It's just a
Right.
really simple contract. It's a written document for both of us to protect both the writer and the paying party. So that is the same contract. I just gave it to her, and then we signed it, and then that's all.
That's amazing. And yeah, I agree to this. Like as a freelance writer, because so much of everything is at risk, right? So it's always important to have a contract, whether it's with clients or with like interns you're hiring. Definitely. So since you've been in this freelance writing business for quite a while, do you have any tips for our watchers, whoever is watching? Do you have any tips on how to find freelance clients? Because people keep saying that Upwork and Fiverr are very frustrating, and what are some tricks or secrets that you would suggest on finding freelance clients?
First of all, I do agree that Fiverr and Upwork is it's so
I
annoying
know,
because
I know. You have to start at like $5 for
yes,
1,000 words, and you have to scale up super slow.
yes, exactly. And I just got so fed up with that and just I just gave up on the whole idea of starting of doing Fiverr. So I think right now I'm charging like $150 for like 500 word article. I don't know, but it's quite a high amount. Mainly because I don't want to get clients from there. If clients come to me, okay, that's a bonus. If clients don't come, that's fine. Um, but the biggest I guess secret you could call it is to set up a proper LinkedIn profile. Almost, I would say like 80% of my clients came from LinkedIn. They found me there
Mhm.
somewhere. I think they just searched it up, content writer in Malaysia, and then they found me. So that's where I stand out because I have everything filled out. And the second thing is, of course, networking. Uh, Networking is probably the most important thing in this industry. I got quite a lot of clients from word of mouth referrals as well, although some did not turn out to be good clients. But this referral thing is gonna this networking, getting to know people, building relationships, even though it might not work at the first time you're talking to them, you have to build a good relationship. Just make friends. Just forget about the idea of networking. Just make good friends, and people come to you when you're just a nice person and you do good work. People just automatically come to you.
That's so true. So, like since you talked about LinkedIn, I have like been talking a lot about LinkedIn recently because it has worked amazingly for me in the past few months. Even I've got some really great clients through LinkedIn and just by being consistent there. So, do you have any tips on what exactly you did that made your profile highly visible? Like, how did you optimize your profile?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think I just put in my description as a content writer. Have a good, nice big names on there. Uh, because if you're writing in the finance industry and people see some of the names like Motley Fool, Business Insider, all these big names, people are gonna automatically think you can write. There's sort of like a, what do you call that, a verification uh,
Yeah.
thing itself. So uh, take your time with your profile, set up a good bio. I think Anna's profile is a perfect example of a good profile, a good profile meant to attract freelance clients. Your banner is very important as well. That's the first impression. And yeah, just everything related to marketing.
True, true. Like there is so much, most people ignore the banner and the profile picture, right? Because I think one of the very important things is that on LinkedIn you have to have a profile picture where only you are present, not you with your like friend or with your
Yeah.
spouse. Like many
No.
people have like, that is like one, I think, big turn off for people who are looking to hire on LinkedIn. And of course your profile bio, your banner image, and your about section, these are all very, very, very important.
Yeah.
So aside from
Actually,
that, Marcus, yeah,
sorry,
please, please go on.
I actually
Mhm.
really like your cover photo, cover image,
Mhm.
because you have all your details up there and then your name down there. I think that's probably what I'll change mine into.
Definitely, definitely. And to everyone who's watching, I've recently made a video on how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile to attract leads. So I will leave the link in the description so you can feel free to check it out. So coming back to the video, Marcus, I want to talk about Medium. Like, when did you start writing on Medium, and how has your Medium journey been so far? Recently, like, there's been a lot of hate on Medium. So many writers are saying that this platform is no longer what it was, and so many famous people have left the platform. But you have been there on Medium for quite a while now. So would you like to share about your Medium journey?
Right. I started about a year ago, I think in September last year. Uh, Started with finance articles and then dived into a bit more personal, just this personal development, just everything in between, storytelling as well.
Right.
Uh, I think the conversation around the algorithm changing, it doesn't really affect me because my goal is not to make a lot of money from Medium. My goal is actually to learn how to write better, to get feedback from the editors. If I can build a community, that's great. And honestly, I'm also learning how to build that. Uh, but it doesn't really matter to me how the algorithm changed because I'm still gonna write on Medium. If popular writers leave the platform, then I don't know where the audience will go. The audience might follow them, might not, but it still it still doesn't matter because the platform is still there. It's still a very good platform, and I would recommend it to every beginner, every writer who's looking uh, to build a writing career. And yeah, just don't look at the money, don't look at the stats. Just focus on writing good, and you will get paid, and you will get the viral content because uh, my one viral piece has actually generated, I think, 90% of my revenue there. Just so
Oh, amazing.
so just keep writing. Just forget about the other things, man.
True. And like, personally for me, the earnings that I have from Medium, a lot of it doesn't actually come from the Medium partner program. It comes from companies who want to, write about them on Medium, or, have a guide about them on Medium. So I feel that Medium is a great place to build your personal brand as well, because the global exposure that you get is
Yeah.
incredible. Like, the one problem with LinkedIn is that I think it only shows posts to people who are in your location or near your location. But on Medium, the exposure is real. So a lot of people, a lot of freelance writers from India have asked me, like, Medium doesn't pay. Like, the Stripe, the Medium partner program through Stripe is not yet available in India. So many people ask that, is it even worth writing on Medium if you can't get paid? But if you are building a personal brand, you are getting a very good platform on Medium to do that, and the exposure is huge, and
Yes.
the credibility you'll build for yourself is incredible. So it's not
Yeah.
just about the money, it's about the community you build, it's about the trust that becomes synonymous with your name, which is like a very underrated perk of
Yeah.
writing on Medium.
Yeah, definitely. Because when you have that, all you need is one or two articles that go viral, and that one or two
Absolutely.
articles that go viral is gonna, anything and everything you've ever done is gonna make sense. It's gonna be worth it, and until then, you just have to keep writing. It's mostly a volume game.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think that's true for all platforms. Like, yes, it is mostly a game of volume, because the more you write, the better your chances are of being discovered.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, like, the another major problem with Medium, LinkedIn, and all other platforms is the algorithm. If the algorithm doesn't favor you, it's very hard to get readers. to read your work, right? And that's where a newsletter comes in. And I've seen that you have been putting effort into building your newsletter recently. So, what are your thoughts on a newsletter? Like, why do you think writers need a newsletter?
Well, to be able to connect with your audience to get their emails is um, it's like having their phone number, right? If you want anything, it's your most loyal audience. Like if let's say if I read your article, Anna, and I'm just there for once or twice, and I'm not really uh, a fan of you, so to say. I'm not really gonna subscribe to your
Mhm.
newsletter because,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to clutter my email. So the way I think of it is, yes, they are my most loyal fans, and I until today I haven't really thought of monetizing my email subscribers yet. All I do is just want to give them uh, good content, uh, a nice piece, uh, a nice story to read, or just test out some weird ideas I have, because some of them actually reply to me through the email, and it's a good way to test, like, what works and what doesn't, and then before I put it on Medium or wherever else.
Definitely. And I think you mentioned a very important point that if I or any reader stumbles upon a random profile, they won't subscribe to their email list just like that. Only the people who are super invested in your work and seeing your journey, they will. So I think writers are actually missing out on this valuable asset of collecting their most loyal fans if they are not having this newsletter, right? Definitely.
Yep,
So thanks
definitely.
for that amazing analogy. Also, Marcus, like people when they talk about newsletter, they get very confused on how to build one. So, what are some tips on how you can build your newsletter audience?
um Well, get a nice landing page, uh, and the copy of the landing page itself. Just be yourself, no filters, whatever. Just be as honest as you can, because you want, um, how do I put this? You want your most authentic audience to subscribe. You don't want the random people to subscribe, and then because later on they will unsubscribe as well. So uh, just be honest, and then wherever you can slide a link in. If you have a let's say you have a random viral article, just put a link there. People are gonna see it. If you get, like, 50,000 viewers on that certain article, I'm betting at least like 1 or 2 thousand people are gonna see that link at least, and you can get, like, I don't know, I'm guessing like 50 subscribers, and that's actually a
Yeah,
lot.
it's a lot, definitely. Like one of my LinkedIn posts went viral like in 2 months back. So I used to do this thing, like whenever I write on LinkedIn, I post in the comments, I post a link of my newsletter. So that post went viral. It had like 100,000 views, and in a single day I got about 150 subscribers, which was crazy. So, as you said, Marcus, wherever you get a chance, you should always put a link to the newsletter in every platform you're active on. Just make sure that people who want to read more from you, they have a way of reading more from you, right?
Yes, definitely. Also, this is a weird story. So, one of my clients, one of my buyers from Fiverr, uh,
Mm-hmm.
we we actually took the conversation out of Fiverr. Don't tell Fiverr about this. So we took the conversation out of Fiverr, and then he actually subscribed to my newsletter because I had a link, I think, on my Twitter account or something. So yeah, just make sure it's accessible to everybody and everybody can subscribe to it. You want the journey to be as pleasant as possible. That's all.
Exactly, exactly. And like whenever I post about my freelancing journey on LinkedIn, I get a lot of questions from people asking how to price your work. Like, if you are a beginner or if you have some experience, people are always confused about how much should they charge for their work. Should it be on a per word basis or on overall value of the article? So, what is your take on pricing your work?
Mm. Okay, this is I would say
It's a
this is
very tough
more,
question. I know it depends
yeah,
on a lot of different factors.
it's very personal. So going back to what I said about Fiverr, I literally don't want clients to come to me because I am so swamped already. I have so much to do. I don't have a life. So I charge a ridiculous high amount, a high price. Uh, so you just have to figure out what fits for you. For my usual um, articles, it's just climbing one step after another. So in Malaysia, we I have some Malaysian clients, I have some uh, US clients. So in general, it's like one client. Let's say I have one client at 100 ringgit. Uh, let's just say one client at $50, and then the next
Mm-hmm.
client comes. I'm gonna I'm gonna charge them. I'm gonna propose probably $75 just for the heck of it,
Right.
because even if they don't accept it, I still have this $50 client. Uh, and then if they accept it, you have the $75 per article client. And then the next one comes in, you can propose a higher price, and that's just
$100. Yeah.
yes, that's my strategy. I think this strategy is pretty safe, and it's almost guaranteed that you will get a higher price the further you go. So when you first start, it's gonna be shitty. It's gonna be a very low price, but it's almost guaranteed that you will get a higher price later on.
Absolutely. And I think I can resonate with this very well because I follow the same strategy. If I if I say $50 for one client and then I get another one, I will definitely quote more because the work with the first client has given me enough confidence. So I know that yes, I can actually
Yes.
ask for this much. And when you charge higher as a writer, you also have that pressure, right? Not pressure, but
Yeah.
you need to write good work. So it's a way of challenging yourself. It's not just asking for more, it's also demanding for more quality from yourself. Like, you're also upgrading your own skills, you're also upgrading your finances. So it's like a win win situation. If the client pays you more, they'll definitely get better work from you.
Yeah, and the name as
Yeah.
well, the brands. You of course when you start, you're gonna get like some random company that nobody knows about, and then you move on to like globe. You know, everybody in your country knows about that brand, and then you move on to global clients. But uh, speaking from experience, uh, writing for big global clients is actually a lot of pressure. So I've actually dropped one or two clients that have bigger names because the pressure is just it's too much for me to handle for now.
I know, I can totally understand. Recently, the same thing happened with me. Like, I was working with one of the biggest clothing brands in India for their branding, and it was really hard work because I have been using their products for like since I was in college. So it was like, oh my god, I'm writing for them. But I the contract is still ongoing, and it is actually interesting. It's like, challenging yourself to deliver more, to deliver better, because you know that so many people are going to be reading your work, right? Because that brand has huge reach. So yes, I think it is a very like being a freelance writer, it's a very rewarding job,
Yeah.
right? Because you get to talk directly to the CEOs of companies, and you get
Yes.
to have inspiring conversations, and you get to do quality work and feel valued as well. So it has been
Yeah.
amazing for me. I think it has been incredible for you as well, right?
It's absolutely incredible. Like I mean, most of the people that reached out to me are the CEOs of these companies, like CEOs of like legit big companies, big names in in the entire world. So that that itself is a bit star striking for me, uh, and it's crazy, yeah. But this journey is I still think there's a lot of growth, possible growth in this writing space, uh, and there's a lot of clients who will pay a lot of money just to get something really good. So yeah, yeah, we're nowhere close to the end.
Absolutely, that's very true. And this was an incredible, like, very candid conversation, and you gave some really helpful tips. I hope it was helpful to whoever was watching. And right now, we have a question from our audience. So, Marcus, this is for you. What are the components of a winning proposal to a client?
Winning proposal, okay. Make sure to keep it short. You don't want to waste their time at all. uh,
Mhm.
I usually just do it on the email itself. I don't attach a separate file. Word documents, that's all a no from me. uh, your word count, what you can provide, uh, and how you can benefit the company. That's all you need. Keep it short and then hit send. That's all.
True, true. That's very true. And then, how do you like once the proposal has been accepted? How do you talk about pricing in the first email, or do you talk about in the later emails?
I talk about I talk about it in my proposal because
Mm-hmm.
it's well, here's a negotiation tactic. You This is kind of my secret. You always wanna ask the client if they have a budget or not, because
Mm-hmm.
uh, whatever information they give you, that's gonna give you an advantage, a competitive advantage, because you know what state they're at, uh, uh, and you know how much potentially you can charge. Because yes, some clients, the startups, they might not have a lot of money, but there are some clients who are willing to pay like up to couple $100 per article. But if you're just if you don't ask them if they have a budget, and you're just in your lane, all you know is $100 an article, you're missing out on that $400 out there. So uh, that's a bit to know. Yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
need to learn a couple of negotiation tactics if you want to get like better deals.
Definitely. So, and the question is continued. So, do you tell your rates upfront? So, I think you have already answered that.
Yes.
Uh, do you set rates per word or project? How do you determine your charges? So, I think you have more or less covered. Do you have anything
Yeah.
else to add to this?
I usually do per article, but sometimes client, let's say they have uh, a series of like let's say 10 articles, uh, and I might give them a bit of discount just to sweeten the
Yeah,
deal, or just generally per article. I don't think per word is good, because you're just gonna end up trying to trying to write more words, and end up changing the affecting the quality of the piece itself. So I
right.
think the end product, if you're a good writer, is going to reflect the quality is going to reflect in the final product itself.
Yeah, that's very true. Like if you have a range, right, like maybe 1,000 to 1,500 words, you have this much rate. That
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
works better than giving the exact word count.
Yes, I do that as well. So just have a range like 700 to 1,200 words. You put that in your proposal as well. That's what I do.
Right. And when you're pitching to a client, how do you establish credibility? Suppose the client doesn't know about you. So
Yeah.
what do you do to, make sure that they know that you are someone who is worth hiring?
Uh, To be honest, I haven't done pitching in a long time because clients have just been coming to me. I know it's a problem, but I mean it's a good problem, but I
It's a great problem to have, Marcus. Come on.
yes. So just I think Medium itself is a very good platform. Again, going back to Medium because of their SEO, sorry, because of their domain authority. So
Yes.
a lot of quite a number of my articles are actually ranked top 5 when you search on Google. So yeah, you just have to put in random facts like this. If you have a 5-star review on Fiverr, you just put that in. I have a 5-star review on
Mhm.
Fiverr. Uh,
Right.
anything you can put in, just put in there.
Exactly. That's very true. Yeah, like whatever social proof you have, just put it
Yeah,
there that's relevant to the company and they will definitely
yeah.
get back to you, right?
You wanna highlight what you did good and just sort of sweep it under the rug, the things that that did not go so well. So that's just the key,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Right. So thank you so much for this candid answers. It was really cool. I also actually made a lot of notes while talking to you because what you said was really helpful. And I hope whoever is watching, I hope it was helpful to you as well. And Niharika is asking, what's your take on Fiverr and Upwork? Actually, Marcus has answered this a little bit before. So you can just back, what's the word,
Rewind.
rewind. Right. So yeah, so I will leave the link to find Marcus on social media on LinkedIn in the description of this video. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll take your leave now. Bye.
Right. Bye bye.